Ooh, baby, baby. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm doing another installment of the A Few Good Reviews. It's been a while since I did this actually, but there's a few albums that have come out lately that I wanted to give a mention to. And firstly, I'm going to give a shout out to Amber Coffman's latest album. What's it called? Oh shit, wait. City of No Reply, there we go. Had to Google that quickly, and I really want to review this. I would have given it a really highly rated review as well, probably like a B minus or a B. I think it's that kind of good album, but I just felt like I got to it a bit too late. Felt like I wasn't sure what to say about it. I didn't know if I had enough because lyrically it's really quite intricate, and I love her voice on this. She's a former member of Dirty Projectors, so if you're a fan of them, you're obviously going to love this. And I think it's way better than that Dirty Projectors album that came out earlier in the year, actually. But people liked it. I didn't think it was that good. But this here is really good. It's really artsy. It's really well made pop music. I love her vocals again. Yeah, definitely give it a listen. I think it had some of the catchiest kind of pop songs on the album that I've heard throughout the year, but in a kind of like indie kind of sounding way. It's really quite a good album. I like it a lot. Imagine Dragons Evolve. Oh, I don't know what to say about Imagine Dragons now. I think they started off pretty strong, with that Night Visions album. I think there were a lot of great songs on there. Maybe ran a bit too long, especially that deluxe version. And maybe now it hasn't aged all that well, but there are still some great songs on that album, like Radioactive, of course. It's Time, a really great song. But, they just they pretty much devolved as they went along, and now this new album, Evolve, is pretty much the same. It's like, I don't know what they're trying to go for at all. Like, there are songs that sound quite 80s. Like, there's a song that sounds almost like Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which really put me off. I found that was quite strange. And the first track, I suppose, is quite catchy. I don't know why. I don't know why. But, I thought Believer wasn't that much of a great track, and that's kind of gaining traction in the US right now. Um, yeah, I don't know. There were just moments that felt like they were running out of ideas, and I don't know what they're trying to do anymore. It's okay, but it's like not that great either. I don't know. Washed Out is the next album I want to mention. Mr. Mellow. Washed Out is actually kind of sounding washed out now. It's kind of weird because I think he had a lot of promise when he came in like 2009, with like 8 years ago. But that EP, Life of Leisure, is really still good. It's got some excellent tracks on there that are really summery, really vibey, kind of like, you would play at a party and it would go down well, even though it's has like a kind of alternative sounding like sound to it. But now, I don't know. I just found this incredibly dull. It's like chill wave music that's just gone way too chill to the point where there's no melodies to any of the songs and it just flies by you without really sticking in any kind of way. The only track I thought had some kind of gripping element to it was Hard to Say Goodbye. That was quite a catchy song. I thought the beat to that song was really good. Um, Kind of sound like a hip hop beat, kind of, really, for me. But yeah, that was a good song, but everything else on here didn't stick at all. I feel like Toro y Moi has managed to craft a sound that's resonant, like resonant with a lot of people, resonated with a lot of people, but he's kind of evolved it in an R&B kind of way, whereas Washed Out is kind of sounding more and more dull with each release. This was quite a disappointment. And very sadly, I don't have a huge amount to say about this new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album, Murder of the Universe. Now, I love this band generally. I think they have a great discography. They put an album out early in the year. I thought it was pretty good. And the last year's Nonagon Infinity, I absolutely loved. It was like in my top 10 of last year. Um, for albums, I mean. But Murder of the Universe, I think it's just beyond me, this album. I can't get into these spoken word passages. There's a huge, big theme to this album, like a concept, which I think is cool. Like that they've done this, they've gone really grandiose with this. But it's like I feel a bit lazy with this album. Like I want to listen to good music. I don't want to have to like read into the whole concept to enjoy an album, which sounds really lazy. I know that, but it's just the way I kind of am with this band. I don't think that this is what I'm looking for their music. I'm just looking for great psychedelic rock music that like moves at a fast pace, just like Nonagon Infinity. Like I think that's what made the album work so well because it just was non-stop for 35 minutes or 36 minutes or however long it was. Like and it just was relentless like all the way through. Like it just never took a break. Whereas, these songs like every 30 seconds, some guy or girl interrupts with this spoken word thing and it's like it just takes the flow away from each track and they're not saying that anything that exciting either. They just sound quite eerie and disturbing, which I suppose is supposed to add to the atmosphere, but it just pulls it all away from for me for this album. I'm just not in the element for it at all. And like the concept again, I appreciate them doing this, but it's like they've already had an album out this year, so this one feels more like their experimental one, and I'm just not here for it to be honest. It's okay at points. There are three chapters to this, so there is like a cool kind of story to it, but you know, uh, I'm just I don't go to music for like spoken word, sections that feel like they're backed by instrumentation that's like business as usual for King Gizzard. Like this is just them doing the same thing they've already done. So it's not like they're progressing their sound. It's just like, oh, I've heard this already on previous albums, especially on the track where they reference Nonagon Infinity. I just felt like a deja vu moment, like they're just doing the same thing again and again. Yeah. So there are some good spoken word albums out there. I love Gil Scott Heron's debut. That was a great album that came out many years ago, but that's one that works. The theme is kind of there. You know what it is. You don't have to do loads of research behind it. It's like there's a message there and it's clear. Whereas this album, I feel like it went a bit too far in the opposite end. I'd recommend it for people that love weird experimental music, but this was just too weird for my taste, I think. And that is it for today's A Few Good Reviews. Yeah, let me know what you think of all those albums that I said below. Some of them are all, to be honest, they're worth checking out, I'd say, just for the sake of hearing them. Make sure you give them a listen at least. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. Also, subscribe if you like this video for more music reviews as well. And have a good day.